Hi, Claire. Thanks a million for taking the time out there today to have a chat with us around remote working and IT. I suppose, first of all, for the benefit of the audience, would you like to introduce EVAD to us?
Yeah, no problem. Hi, Stephanie. So we are EVAD IT Solutions, and we're an IT managed service company based in Dublin. And we look after industries across the sector. So any customer sites ranging from about 2 users up to 500 users.
Great. Well, certainly that covers a lot of our base as well. Look, you've seen it more than I've seen it, Claire, there on this remote working. It all sounds great. We shut down the country and everybody goes home to work. I mean, it's not that easy. Let's face it. I mean, it's all very well, depending if you're Google or something like that, and you can manage to shift 8,000 people at home. But what are the things that we need to be very careful of or consider when small businesses are doing this?
Yeah, so I suppose these were the questions that all came up at the start. It was obviously a massive rush, and kind of, especially the education sector, who were the first to come to us and say, look, what do we need to do if we need to close down immediately? And it was project planning. Yes, you're right in a sense that it's not just pick up a device and walk home. It's looking at, obviously security is the number one priority when you're doing this. So all of our customer sites would have a firewall. So, but it's in terms of devices, it's kind of going, okay, do your employees have business laptops? If so, bring them home and use a VPN connection to remote directly into your PC on site. So that's probably the easiest and best way of doing it. If employees don't have a laptop, it's kind of the thing of going, okay, right, how do we work this? So personal laptops came up a couple of times, and you know yourself, we don't recommend it because we don't monitor them, and there's no security on them. So it was a matter of some customers saying, can we bring our business PCs home? Yes, you can do that. And again, you would be using that secure VPN connection directly to the server. So that's fine as well. But it was one of these things where we needed to kind of assess everything. So we pull reports, we pull what devices people have, and we say, right, this is the most efficient way that this is going to work for the employee.
Okay. Well, that's certainly things that people need to consider. And is it too late to start looking at those things? Is it too late to start contacting companies like yourselves to double check now? Because if this goes on a little longer, if we don't get the relaxed restrictions next week as we were all hoping for, I mean, should they still have a look at this even though maybe they didn't do it at the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's never too late. And again, I think it's important to have that disaster recovery as such anyway, because you don't know when the next pandemic's going to be, or whether it be a weather warning or something like that where people have to actually work from home. So I know a lot of companies have been looking into it the last couple of years, but people have been hesitant as to the fact that kind of, okay, are employees able to access everything they could usually access if they were in the office? And the answer is yes, if it's set up correctly, absolutely. So there's no harm, having that set up in place going forward, just so you know that, if you do need people to work from home, they're able to do it.
Yeah, even some of the simple things like, I mean, accessing Excel and Word documents. I mean, even if they don't go full blown, even if they only just start looking at these things in the simplest form, just allow them, even if it's not just all day, all week remote working, what about just they want to do a few things at home in the more peace and quiet in the normal run of the day? I mean, how do they cope with that sharing of documents? Because Excel and Word are not multi-user.
Yeah, so in terms of sharing documents and collaborating, we've been working a lot around Microsoft SharePoint in the last couple of years, and we've been replicating a lot of file servers to SharePoint. What a lot of businesses don't know is with Office 365 comes SharePoint, comes Microsoft Teams, and people are utilizing maybe only 50% of them applications. If you have SharePoint, why not use it, and why not build it out? Again, there's a little bit of project planning, but once you've got that built out, you can access your files from anywhere. So, a coffee shop, at home, and you don't even have to go near the server. So again, it's some of our customers are in a massively strong position, and when they started, as they did have SharePoint. So if you don't need a particular software that's actually sitting on the server, you just need access to files, just log into SharePoint. Again, we implement multi-factor authentication to add that extra layer of security. And again, you know, it's a thing of, you know, you can check in and out of files, you can see who's working on files. So it's definitely a good thing and an important thing to think about, especially in times like this. You know, it's a massively important feature.
Well, I certainly think there's a few hints for people there around security, personal devices, and sharing of documents there that people can pick up on. And by the sounds of things, you know, just because it may seem difficult, it may not be that much. At the end of the day, a small budget may go a long way to allow a lot of flexibility, and probably a little bit of housekeeping for myself to look at as well there. But Claire, listen, I know you're busy. Thanks a million for taking the time out. If we have any other queries coming in from the customers or around, can we get back in touch with you?
Yeah, no problem. So feel free to link my email address and my mobile phone number. Again, any questions that anybody has, I'm 100% happy to answer. Like I was saying, it's you know, it's a scary time for everybody. So it's people have them questions, and absolutely feel free to add my details to this.
Listen, that's super, Claire. Thanks very much.
Great, no problem. Thanks.